And just like that, I am back. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not gonna happen this video. Shout out to my girl Shayna underscore MCD for joining us today. Hey. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I'm in a different circumstance than I usually am in. I am not going to be on camera, unfortunately, because you won't be able to see me. So yeah, I'm sorry, y'all, but hey, I made it back, and then I will get used to a new circumstance here, y'all. But I wanted to say that I have my girl, Mrs. Best, joining me as she always does. Say hey to her, y'all.
Hi. Happy Friday.
Thank you, Shanda, for confirming. I am so nervous about this because I'm not in my usual circumstance. I'm in a whole another different circumstance. So I don't know what this sounds like. My headphones are not working. So
She's correct. It's very clear.
okay, very good. So, y'all, as you guys see, it says Bod and Bougie. I gotta correct that. But yes, but we're doing Bad and Bougie. I am doing a catch up, y'all, because I am behind like crazy. If I could tell y'all how much my life has changed within this last week, it has really changed a lot. So, just bear with me as I get my bearings back and try to get back on the grind of things. Someone made fun of me about my little 82 subscribers that I've had.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
hurt.
where they at? Whoever laughed at the 82 subscribers, hit me up at Mrs. underscore V3ST reviews. I just want to talk.
I don't think that person will, but
I mean,
hey, it is what it is. At least I didn't
when
give
you're
up.
not paying for subscribers and promo, it takes time to build the channel. Like, it just
Absolutely.
does. It just does.
Yeah, people these days, I tell you. So, y'all, this is Bad and Bougie season one, episode three. So the episode actually picks up where it left off, where we were in this little Clatchit tea party hosted by Malaysia. And Gaucher and Tamika are going at it because Tamika posed the question of, well, why did you and Usher divorce? And if you guys mentioned 2 weeks ago, we talked about how I felt like Gaucher was doing the absolute most. I felt like she did not need to ask Tamika how did her son die. We didn't need to know that at that moment. And I felt like asking her why her and Usher divorced after Usher's being remarried now for twice. There's probably just once at that point, but Usher has now remarried twice since they have been divorced. So it's really weird that you would want to know that information when that information was public. Thank you, Shayna. I appreciate you. And I try to look at it that way, but I haven't been. So, I'm going to work it out, though. I'm going to work it out. I promise. But in terms, how did you feel about the whole Gaucher and Tamika exchange at this point before we get to the real one in just a few minutes here?
um, I feel like, oh, I have an echo. Whatever. Anyhow, I feel like Gaucher keeps coming for people and then like hiding her hand and acting as if she's innocent. So I feel like it's the same thing with Tamika. Normally, I don't care for Tamika when I see her on TV, just her attitude and stuff. I do feel like she's handling Gaucher appropriately. If someone is coming for you, finding something wrong, and then I just don't like Gaucher right now. So I guess I'm siding with Tamika. I never thought I'd say that, but I am. I don't feel like there was a dig thrown too much. I feel like if you're throwing shade, expect shade to be thrown back. So I don't know. I'm not, I don't want to say I think Tamika's entirely right, but then at the same time, she's responding to someone who keeps fucking with her, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about her either, and I was feeling that exact same way. I feel like, yes, she is just responding to somebody that's fucking with her, but at the same time, it's like I wish she would have had a better clapback. So let's move on to that scene with them meeting up at the park to talk. And what I will say about Gaucher in this moment is once again, I feel like you aren't making clear sense when it comes to what you're really mad about. Because Yes, she came to yes, Tamika came to your party. When it came to Crystal, it was very clear that she was feeling some type of way about this lady being in her space, considering her relationship with Mayetta. She even says this out her mouth. But what I didn't understand about Gaucher is, see, you would have thought Crystal was Gaucher's wife, the
Mm.
way she is taking up for this girl. So, and that's another thing, Shane, that I actually agree with you, is that none of these ladies are friends in real life. They're not. It's very obvious. And then they haven't built the kind of rapport to where if they were building friendships, it's not off of authenticity that they're trying to genuinely just meet each other and really get to know each other. They're meeting each other for checks and trying to build their brands and businesses on this show. So it's coming off inauthentic. And that's where I feel like Tamika wants to say that. I feel like there's been moments, not so much in this episode, but in the next episode, that I feel like she's like, this doesn't feel authentic to me. So why be a part of it? And that's what I kind of feel like as well. Why be a part of something if it's not going to be authentic? She said she didn't have a problem with Crystal. She said she adored Crystal. She thought that, because once you do get to know Crystal, she actually isn't bad. So it's really weird that Gaucher has this problem with trying to get clarification on why does she feel this way about Crystal when she already said why. What more were you expecting her to do?
If it's none of Gaucher's business also, which the questions she asked had no concern of her at all, then like just mind your business. Once something that's not your business start to cause a problem, maybe that's when people should realize to mind their business. But Gaucher always does this on every show that she's on. She does the same thing just with different people in some type of way. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, man. So after a while of going back and forth, Tamika gets up and she walks away. And as she was walking away, Gaucher says, "No wonder you ain't married. You hard to deal with." And I said, "See, this is what I be talking about. This is what I be talking about. Her not being married ain't got shit to do with what y'all situations is right here." So when she gave her that clapback, well, she goes, "Well, when I do get married, it won't be to no woman." Yeah, and that was the dig. And I honestly, at first, I thought I was gonna be offended by it, but then I was like, "Oh, fuck O'Shea. I ain't offended by that.
Listen,
It is
I'd
what
have
it is."
been with women, I'd have been with men, and I ended up choosing to marry a man because I can't. Mm-mm. I wouldn't want to deal with me. I couldn't imagine being with a woman like full time. Nothing's wrong with saying that. That don't make you homophobic at all. It's just some shit don't mix. For me, I wouldn't have the patience to deal with two emotional, crazy people because I'm emotional and crazy. So, and if you don't want her to talk about your marriage or womanship, whatever the fuck, then don't come for her being single. And I feel like a lot of married people in general do that. And that annoys me. Like, just because you're married does not make you better than someone who is single. It also doesn't mean that you have a more fulfilled life from someone who is single. Some people choose to be single. It's just what it is. So that was whack of Gaucher. So
I agree. So in terms of that, Gaucher meets up with Princess. They go to some bar, shoot darts or whatever, and Gaucher mentions what happens in her interaction with Tamika. And I'm not going to give much in this scene, but I just felt like, okay, what did you really think? Like for Gaucher to go and talk with Princess about it, it was kind of like, were you planting a seed for this lady to go back and tell her, or were you just really like, I can't believe Tamika? Because to me, it just seemed calculated. This whole you telling her that, it just seems like it was calculated. I didn't really get it because Princess's response was kind of like, it was like very nonchalant, and I'm like, okay, Carlos, if you're gonna have women on this show doing reality TV that is kind of a ripoff of Real Housewives of Atlanta, then I'm gonna need them to get in tune better with each other. And that's where Shayna's comment comes in. Because once again, this scene was another scene that was morally based on the fact that these women do not know each other. And the fact that Gaucher just gave her, an earful of what happened between her and Tamika, it's now like falling on this inauthentic response. It's like, yeah. She goes, well, and I'm just like, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I can't give it the show at times. I don't want to drop it, but it's like I need these friendships to be real. Because Gaucher, honestly, Malaysia was the person you needed to invite to darkness, not Princess. Just putting that out there. How did you feel about that scene?
Pretty much the same as you. This is what I mean by Gaucher is messy. She's going around talking shit and then hiding her hand. She's throwing stones and then hiding like she didn't throw shit, like she wasn't there at all. And it drives me crazy. But I feel like a piece of it is Gaucher trying to do this, you know, for and on the show. She's been on a lot of reality television shows that have not really been successful. And the ones that were successful, she wasn't the main, you know, person on. So I don't know. I'm over Gaucher at this point. And then I guess I'll comment more on it on the other episode, but I'm just kind of over Gaucher. I don't like what she's doing, and I feel like just going backwards, the whole interaction with her and Tamika, I feel like she's one of those people that'll like use the fact that she is gay or whatever and try to anything anyone says that even alludes to that if she's mad at them is suddenly an offensive thing. So I don't know. I just don't fuck with Gaucher, but I do think she looks very cute in her blazers.
Yeah, she does. But what I'm gonna say about this is, yeah, that's why I didn't want to speak on it because I feel like I said, now you're trying to cause friction by bringing up that she said that at least I'm not married to no woman. It was like, see, you didn't even have to bring that up.
It was corny.
It was corny, it was stupid, and it's been done before. So yeah, I was over this scene, and so moving on from there, um, I'm not going to talk about everything because we have another episode of this to get to. So um, I'm gonna go to basically the event where did that happen this episode? Tamika's book event. I'm starting to get
Hello,
ahead of
Onika.
how
Tamika's book event. It did happen this episode, or oh shit.
I feel like it did. I feel like it did. I feel like it happened this. Yeah, it did happen this episode. Okay, so Tamika's book event, she begins talking about her son and his unfortunate passing during her book event. And directly speaking, when Malaysia walked in, she walked in very late, and so they all have a sidebar. And they bring up the instance with Gaucher, and Princess takes it upon herself to say, well, here's the thing. She mentioned to me, and Tamika's like, nope, we're not talking about this. I'm over it. I'm over it. Y'all are dismissed. And Malaysia took it back. She goes, wait, who's dismissing me? I don't get dismissed. You don't dismiss me and everything. And Tamika walked off like I would have and let her be in her stupor because there's no way you're going to tell me what to do. If I say I don't want to talk about something, I don't want to talk about it. Who the fuck?
Also, you're not going to tell me what to say or do at my event. It's her event. Malaysia is thinking thus far, I feel like she wants special treatment because she's known on Basketball Wives, but all of the women on the show are known and bosses. So I'm going to need Malaysia to relax.
I'm saying because that to me was like that was doing way too much. Because first of all, if she told you she didn't want to talk about it, why would you even want her? Because Malaysia was just pushing it, and I was like, Malaysia, she don't want to talk about. Why are y'all making me defend Tamika? Bad and bougie. Why? Or is it bold and bougie? I said, oh Lord, look at me. It's bold and bougie, not bad and bougie. Look at me. But
That's a song, a very, very famous song. So it's easy to mix up.
but I'm trying to figure out why, like, and this is where Malaysia is producing. This is where Malaysia is producing because at the end of the day, that don't make no sense what you just did. So I was over Malaysia in this instance. I was like, she pissed me off more the next episode, but in this part, I was 100% on Tamika's side.
Yeah.
Sorry, once
Yeah.
again, I'm on Tamika's side because Tamika's done nothing. That was between her and Gaucher. It had nothing to do with the rest of you. So let's move on from there. Crystal's event is here, and all the ladies show up with the exception of I don't think Gaucher was Gaucher there. No, she wasn't there. So it was Malaysia, Princess, Dr. Princess, Shad, and Crystal. And Crystal's energy was off. I will give Malaysia that benefit of the doubt, is that she did kind of come in with an attitude. She was talking about she wants some shots, and they were like, "Well, didn't no one come to serve us?" So she goes, "Well, they were probably waiting on the host." And I'm like, I have never been to an event where I had to wait on the host to be served. I
I
feel
want
like
people to understand and remember that Crystal, as well as Malaysia, no shade, shout out to California, but these are both two heifers from Compton. I'm just saying. So I'm not saying that that means anything negative, but both Crystal and Malaysia's something they have in common is they were not used to or put on to, let's say, events of this nature, this sort of crowd, this sort of income level, things like that. They got it through their husband. So I feel like some of it may be her not knowing certain things because there's supposed to be drinks before the host goes there so that people are patient waiting for the host to arrive. That's usually how it goes. But, just the best.
Onika, you're not missing out on nothing. When I tell you, you ain't missing out on nothing. This show, realistically, it was like they were trying to do that old, we're gonna make one person the villain, but she's not falling for the bait. So it's really looking like the other women are the villains, and she's the one that is really innocent bystander. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna say it again. I did not like Tamika. I did not. There was no part of me that liked that lady at all. But watching this show, I'm sorry. It's not that I like her now, but I cannot see a problem with her. I don't see anything she's done wrong so far. So it's so crazy to me. And that's crazy how your mind could change. I only knew Malaysia and her on the show. I did not know Crystal. I knew who she was, like married to, but I didn't know her personally. Gaucher, I only knew her from the few reality TV shows she's done, but I never really paid attention to her that much. And of course, Princess I knew of because I knew her based on her being one of the creators of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I didn't know anything about her personally either. So when I say I didn't like Tamika, it was based off of her energy and how she presented herself on um, Atlanta Exes. I felt like she was doing entirely too much, but it was justifiable because she had just lost her son. So I get it, but at the same time, just because you lose people don't mean that you just have to be a cold-hearted person to the world. It just doesn't work that way. So that's what I'm gonna say on that. So when the event comes out, everyone brings up Tamika, and Malaysia felt disrespected by Tamika because Tamika didn't want to have that conversation and dismissed her. And Malaysia is with this superiority complex, talking about no one dismisses me. I'm Malaysia. You don't. When you look like this, you don't get dismissed. And I said, man, I'm sorry. Everybody not gonna like you. I am sure you are ugly to somebody, and I'm sure your attitude is probably stink to most people. So I could see you definitely get dismissed. I think you've gotten dismissed by better. Absolutely. So don't do this on this TV show. This just because you think you got a little cute show now. Don't do this, Malaysia, because this is not it. So Dr. Princess was sitting on the other side of the table telling the regular princess, over here, we have the same name. You don't let nobody run over you, and we supposed to be here. And mind you, Princess doesn't know Dr. Princess. This is only their second time being around each other. So she kind of felt slighted. She goes, I don't know you, and for you to have all this energy towards me, no, I'm good. I'm about to bounce. So she walks off. Malaysia goes behind her to her car, and she goes, what's going on? She goes, look, your friend is doing too much. Like, she over there talking about we have the same name. I need to go check Tamika and everything. I'm going to call Tamika, but I don't need that from her. So meanwhile, while Malaysia's getting an earful from there, Crystal and Dr. Princess and Shad are at the table. They are drinking, and Shad was like, "You to Dr. Princess, you kind of seem like you a little." I don't think he said aggressive. He said something else, but she said that you're a little aggressive. And Dr. Princess says, "Yeah, I can be. I mean, there's a lot of things I could have said about you that I just held quiet." And Crystal made a point. She goes, "Yeah, I feel like you say things for a shock value," which I kind of got that impression too. I said that on one of my recaps. There's something about her I don't like. And I think that that's one of them. So she said, "Well, I could have said anything I thought about you." And Crystal's like, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "Like you being loose." And boy, did that trigger a nerve on Crystal. Crystal got to spazzing out, talking about, "You don't know me. I'm gonna get it from this table because then me and you going there's gonna be something in this club and this and that." And I'm just like, Crystal, I get it. I feel you, and I want you to do it. But at the same time, you don't let no raggedy ass heifer ruffle your feathers too much about a comment about you being loose. To me, you was kind of deflecting a little bit on that comment because there's no way somebody I don't know is gonna say something about me and she don't know me, don't know anything I've been through. That's how you know she's had the world in her head. That was a clear conscience right there because there's no way she could have got me that mad. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about that confrontation?
Um, Listen, I'm gonna be honest. 21-year-old me, younger me, would have understood and advocated for Crystal. However, um, I'm not refuting that Dr. Princess was a problem because she already done offended the other princess. And so if you do it to one person, seeing you do it again kind of confirms that you're messy. And that's that. However, I think as you become older, especially you speak about this a lot in your lives, having discernment, things like that, you should be able to like look at people and kind of tell when somebody's trying to come for you or looking for a problem or hoping to get a rise out of you. And I feel like that was very obvious with Dr. Princess, especially considering what happened prior. So I do think Crystal overreacted. This was your event that you're supposed to be hosting and putting on. Regardless of what happens separate from the storyline, you should have stayed there and done your job and promoted the event that you were hosting because that's what you were paid to do. She says she wants to get back into hosting. So don't let other people, as James just said, get you to that point of frustration. Also, I'm not gonna get mad at no bitch for insinuating or calling me loose. At the end of the day, I know where the hell my pussy's been. I know who's been up in it. And that's between me, the person, and that's that. People can say anything that holds no weight. But for her to get so mad, it does make it look like, damn, sis, like, are you loose? Like, like, what's good? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So Crystal, after being taken away from the table by Shad, she went in the bathroom. She's hollering, talking about like, see the old Crystal finna come out. The old Crystal finna come out. See, because if I was the old Crystal, I said I'd have got her. And I'm looking at her like, oh my god, girl, this is once again your event. So Crystal decides to leave. And I'm like, how the fuck you gonna leave your event? That is crazy to me. So she gets out and goes to her car. Malaysia is in the parking lot still because she's still dealing with Princess. And she walks up to Crystal like, hey, where you going? Like, what's going on? She goes, I'm leaving. Like, your little friend up in there, I can't do her. Don't, like, I can't. I got to go because it's going to be something. And Malaysia was kind of taken back. Like, wait, what just happened? My friend, what? So Malaysia goes back into the club and Dr. Princess just sitting there just smiling. And I'm just like, oh, God. You could tell she was trying to get on the show. That right there told me right there you were trying to get on the show. So Malaysia's like, what happened? And she goes, she had said something about me being aggressive, and I said something about her being loose. One thing led to another, and then here you are. And Malaysia was like, what happened first? And I'm looking at the TV like, Malaysia, what the fuck difference do it make who said what first? It wouldn't have mattered. You weren't there.
Also,
Instead of you being neutral, you
you're
should have said,
at you're at your friend's event. You have this lady here as your plus one. So it doesn't fucking matter who did it first because it's not her event. If your friend is so pressed or upset, then leave. I just don't understand Malaysia.
I don't either because for her to ask that question, like what happened first, it was like it didn't matter what happened first. It didn't matter. Why
Right.
wouldn't your friend just be on her best behavior and be supportive instead of trying to pick and prod at this lady? It does like, and I felt like that just went over her head at that point. And I'm just like, okay, see,
I don't think
this
it
is
went over Malaysia's head. I think Malaysia knows what she was doing bringing that friend there. She did the same shit on Basketball Wives when she's mad at people, especially Jackie Christie. Her friends or people she knows are suddenly offending people. that she either has wanted to come for or was looking for a reason to fuck with. I don't Malaysia, this to me, this is her MO, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I just think that we're not far off from it because that to me was wild. So the episode pretty much ends there. It was an okay episode. Like I told y'all, I'm not really feeling Dr. Princess. I never did, but I want Crystal to get a better, I want her to have a better disposition because I feel like she's letting society and people in these rumors about her when it came to her getting with Neo really interfere with her personal being. And I feel like if it really wasn't what you said it wasn't, then you wouldn't be this angry. So
Here's the
that
thing, if we look at the timeline of her relationship, at some point, she was interacting with him in a romantic way at the same time that he was with Monietta. Does that mean that she intended to be a homewrecker? No. But from the moment that that man put out the In My Own Words album, his first album, we knew that he had a partner. We knew that he had a partner. So it does look a certain way. What I wish Crystal would do is just say, listen, because of my ex's reputation and the way that he is and stuff, I was young and naive. People have a certain look of me, but I want to show them I'm not that and then move on. We know that Tamika Foster is Usher's, ex-wife, but she really hasn't spoken about him that much aside from other women trying to bring him up. And when they do bring him up, she can casually write it off or move on from that. I think Crystal's not healed. One, I think everything you're saying is correct because even watching her on the Hollywood Wives or R&B something, it was on E. She did a show and she had issues with the other ladies because of the same thing that's happening now. That's when she was all the way in Los Angeles. So she just has to accept that that's unfortunately what the world knows her as, and like you said, do the work on herself because she does like allow what people say or do to like go to the heart. And it's like you can't do that. You're famous now, babes. You got to grow up. So
I 100% agree. Well, yep, that was the recap, you guys. I'm going to keep this one short because we have one more to do for Bold and Bougie, episode 4, and then I'll be caught up with this show. And then we'll have Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine on this right after this as well. So, and then we have Mrs. Best's channel where we're doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So, we have a busy day. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this live and then we're going to move on to episode 4 so we can keep this going. So thank you guys for coming. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to both channels. Mrs. Best's information is in my description box. Subscribe to her channel as well. Any recaps that I do not do on my channel personally, she does on her channels. That means Love and Hip Hop. We also have Summer House Martha's Vineyard coming up this weekend as well. And then also the last bit of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the reunion part 2 and 3. So make sure you guys are subscribed to her channel because her channel is booming. She also does other things as well. But that's it, guys. I'll see you on the next recap. Bye bye.